My boyfriend thinks we've been seeing each other for a year. I just smiled and said, okay, see you soon. There was no crying or yelling. There was just acceptance. I just let him kiss me again when he leans down to do it. Even though my mind is somewhere else, it's a nice kiss. His hockey coach texts me, tell your boyfriend to come to practice early tomorrow. He'll listen if it's you. They both leave. Aside from being shocked that he told his teacher we were dating, this made me want to find out who else thought we were dating. And it turns out that most of the people I talk to think we're dating, or as they put it, they know we're together but have never told me. The fact that his mom called me his girlfriend doesn't mean it's a joke. They are not very close to each other. That Korean woman is very traditional, religious, and strict. She is always serious and doesn't mess around because she wants him to marry young with a nice Korean girl, which I'm not. He couldn't have done anything to get her to agree to this. He also doesn't seem like the type to play with these kinds of people. He may be stupid and unaware, but he's not awful. There's nothing I can do right now. Don't get me wrong, he's a great guy, and if the last 5 years are any indication, he would make a great boyfriend or even husband. I have never loved him, though, because I have never looked at him that way. It was like the glass broke when this happened, and I saw how he looked at me, talked, and acted differently. These are things that haven't changed since the beginning, but I've never noticed. I couldn't act like I love him like that. I wasn't thinking about him that way the whole time. I don't want to hurt him, though. There's no doubt that he feels strongly about me since we've been together for so long. I don't want to hurt his feelings by stepping on them. Even though I've been dating him for a year, I can't just keep going out with him. Frankly, it wouldn't take much for me to learn to love him, but it wouldn't be fair to either of us, to be fair, who dates someone and doesn't ask him about it. If it were the other way around and something happened a year ago that made me think, shit, I love him, this was probably a date, we're probably dating right now, I would have told him or at least done something to confirm for the next year. I have no idea what to do now that it's been a year. I'm scared and mad, and I feel like I'm stuck between a sword and a wall because I didn't see what was going on sooner. I don't want to hurt him, but I also don't want to lie to him. What should I say to him about this? Changes. He's just stupid and sad, or he could be crazy and insane. I did give him way too much. I told my therapist about it and showed her the Reddit post I made and some of the messages I've gotten. She basically said, hey, remember that great guy? Now that we know he's a jerk, let's learn how to move on and break up. There's a public place where I think we should meet up. Before his game, I texted Ed and asked if he was free to meet me at a coffee shop we both know. I said yes when he called, and he said, you sound serious. Should I be worried? Which is what I really said yes. You should. He told me to stop joking and then went back to practicing. A few hours later, I'm still sitting there when he walks in, sits down in front of me and thanks me for getting him food. We begin to eat. So he asked, are you really okay? Because he knows I'm feeling really nervous. Not long ago, you didn't seem well, and now what you said makes me worry. So I tell him about it. Like everyone else, I ask him why he thinks we're dating and what made him think that. Right now, he's just being quiet, and I'm not saying anything. I just wanted to cry, so what happened after this is a little fuzzy. Also, this next crap came out of the blue for me. It's just weird to think about now. He said something like, if I asked you up front, I didn't really think we could date. I told you that's how relationships generally work, but you asked why. Which made him talk about women in general in a different way. Ideas that he told me and said right in front of my eyes without feeling bad about it. It wasn't my best friend of 5 years I saw in front of me. It was a boy who had grown up to be a man and have a very bad view of women. I could blame his youth for some of what he said, but he was nicer to me when he was 14 than when he was now. I just cut him off and asked him what made him feel this way about women. I don't think even the most conservative women would say what he did because he never led his family, especially his mother, but his mother still has some bad ideas about women, which are what led him to believe these old-fashioned things. And he was quiet for a while, which made me feel sorry for him until he spoke. Again, he has these talks. Now, I know everything I need to know. He gets angry and says that it's not him, that they know what's right and wrong and how things should be. At this point, I'm not really paying attention to him. I want to cry and leave that place. I'm paying attention, but I'm not getting anything. He began yelling less violent things about women, our relationship with food, and how we should only have so much. How weak and sensitive we are, ready to blame men for everything, and how we yell at the smallest problem, which it's funny to think about now. How period stuff was all a lie, and I was probably lying when I said I couldn't walk because I wanted his attention. He also said that a man could feel more pain than a girl. During our conversation, he also said that the class he won had something to do with car parts. He is a mechanical expert. Being stupid and acting like I have no idea was not cute and sweet of me or any woman for that matter. It does not make me more attractive. I'm sorry, I really don't understand how cars work. I tell him it's not funny if this is all a joke. He cuts me off and says that he listens to these men but doesn't tell me because I'd say no and our friends would not agree. He also says that I'm not a perfect woman, whatever that means, but he still wants to date me but can't because I'd say no and ruin his dream. There are people around who can see me crying, so I just want to leave right away. I tell him something like, you're so stupid, if you had only asked, you could have gone on a date with me. You could have had everything, but you chose to listen to guys who don't have anything. Why do you have to act so stupid when you could just ask like everyone else? He yells that I'm wrong and that they know what's right, which makes more people stare. I tell him to stop, but he doesn't until I say I'll call the cops. I told him to never talk to me again before I left. I'm now at home. I blocked him everywhere and told some friends what happened. All of them were shocked by what he did and said. But one guy did say that he was always easy to get along with. When I asked them why they thought we were dating, they said it was because of how we behaved together. The fact that he told them makes me think that one is on me. They did ask, and since the behavior was fine, they never thought to talk to me about it. I'm not going to answer any of them right now. To be honest, my family and I are moving places in a few months. Every time I thought about leaving all my friends here, including him, I would cry. That was the last thing I wanted. Now that I don't have to worry about running into him, I'm glad. It makes me sad because we had a good bond. It was a big part of my life, and now it's gone. Even though it was only for a few hours, he said and did some mean things. I'll say it again, I don't want him in my life anymore if he comes up to me or tries to pick me up from class before we move. I'll call the cops if things get bad. I'm also letting my older brother and father know where I am. It might be a little crazy and not necessary, but you never know. He was a great person and we were friends until he chose to treat women like things and go on dates with them without asking because he deserves it. I can't hold back my tears. I really thought I knew him and it shocked me that he could say and do things that he's always been against. Even though it's only been a few hours, it's already strange not getting texts or calls all the time. It seems empty, but I don't want that person next to me. The worst thing for me is that nothing has changed. Not only does he not have any sisters, but neither does his mother nor his father. I guess I just feel lied to. It seems silly to say, but it's true. I mean, I get guys like this every day. It's what all girls do. It ranges from teachers who already know me to drivers who have never seen me before. People have said everything from nice things about how pretty I am to very gross things. It's normal for me. It was just a surprise that it was someone I trusted so much. I don't know when he started to think this way about me, but now I feel really gross and dirty if he does and has never told me. Even more, I don't want to know what he really thinks about our gay friend since he's always been nice and respectful to her. For some reason, the fact that he seemed to have learned some of the offensive things he said about women on a Sigma Instagram account makes me laugh. That is really stupid. If you leave out the part where he said RP is not a real problem, it's kind of funny. That's the end of that. I thought I had a good friend with me, but it looks like not.